Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtrothi, the voice of New Eden. It is... I don't know why I have to check every single time. May 18th, YC125, and this is the Eve Universe Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How's it going, guys? I didn't even post it out that I was going live. That's how today is going. Hold on one second. YouTube, where is... How's it going, guys? Welcome back. Hey, everybody say hi to Pockets. Pockets DK, a friend of mine. He just told me he's back in Eve, so we gotta definitely encourage that. Sean Bogard, oh 07 to you. Please don't do that before I deserve it. That makes me feel even worse about how... No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate it, man. Very much. 07 to you. At least the laundry is done. Exactly. No, like, okay. Look. Those of us with ADHD have good times and we have bad times. And the last few weeks, I don't know about you guys, but has been wild to me. First of all, I was just thinking about this today. Is it just me, or has this year just flown past? Like, that's one of the reasons why I have to check, like, what month we're in. I feel like it was January, like, yesterday. Excuse me. But beyond that, today... Hey, 07 to Ganai on that. How is it mid-May? Exactly, right?
You have been promoted.
Last year went by way faster? I don't know, man. Not for me. Any rate, Ganai gifting that sub to GM Trails, Orleus. 07. Ganai's the man. Orleus, you deserve it. Yeah, you know, that's a big piece of it. I've been cleaning my whole house. There's been cleaning my house. My son, you know, it's getting sunny out, so my son has been way more active. And like doing things that need my direct attention nonstop. So, and also at the same time, like, really unfortunate timing when it comes to like my normal streaming schedule and when he's been getting sick and migraines, which sucks. Oh my god. Monday, I felt really bad for him because he came off the bus, was crying that he had a headache, and then went upstairs, threw up in the toilet, and then went to bed and was like between passing out, waking up, and throwing up and crying with a headache for like the rest of the night. It was miserable. And the weather has been so nice, which is good and bad, as I just said. So, but today we're going to pick ourselves up. Today is a day to pick ourselves up, brush ourselves off, and get ready, because we've got a lot of things coming. We've got Viridian coming in a few weeks. We've got a lot. Basically, it's only going to get hotter and hotter and hotter, both outside and as we approach Viridian, or, you know, like in Eve. We've got a lot to talk about already, but the meat of it is coming next week. Tomorrow, one of the things I've been doing is watching a lot of YouTube still, but like watching YouTubers and also watching like YouTube editing videos, because I really want to keep like honing my craft on making YouTube videos themselves. So, and I have some good stuff that I can go back and edit, but a lot of the stuff nowadays, when I'm editing it for the actual final production, I'm mostly just cutting out the breaks or the bad stuff. But there isn't like a need to like build whole new visuals or whatever. I haven't done a big presentation since like the asset video. So I was trying to think about like, what is something I can do that is like both kind of timely or relevant to people, while at the same time, like a lot of these other things don't really, in a weird way, deserve that much of a polished edit, because like if it's just a news article, or if we're just discussing something that's like right now, you know, those kinds of videos I want to be something that's relevant long term. Either way, long story short, tomorrow what I want to do is make an actual like how-to guide video of my old Yeet exploration video. So tomorrow we're going to take a character that is directly out of the career agent missions. So we might end up knocking that out, or I might find some dude or one of my alpha clones or whatever to do it with, and just take an alpha clone, get a brand new ship, or no, I don't even need to do the career agents because I'm going to apply the million SP, get an exploration ship and the filament and yeet out with it and show how fast you can get into that and how you can do it in order to get your first early adventures as a new player. Because like there's a lot of players that want to, you know, what is that next thing? I got done with the career agents. I don't really want to grind missions. Faction warfare is a little bit too intense at the moment. The Abyss is super spooky for a lot of different reasons. Like, what is this? What is the non-traditional thing that I can like just kind of go do? And Yeet exploration is one of those things that once you unlock it, so much comes with it, you know? So my forehead is getting slightly green screen. Yeah, you know what? So that's the other thing. I moved my whole operation in order to make things better, which it did, but I also need to adjust things. Hold on a second. It'll still do it a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fix that per se. I mean, if I get like super glare, really the best thing I could do is not be sweaty and or have better lighting here. I need to get like my, oh, I know what it is. We're just going to have to put up with it today because I have a key light that's not there that's supposed to like give a nice white over everything. That's what's missing. I apologize, guys. Aw. Wait, why do you have a straight face with that? Are you saying that in like a bad way? Makeup, powder, and done. You know what? That's a good point. I actually probably should do that, unironically. No, it doesn't help that I had to go run to go grab my laundry right before this. Hold on. So today is kind of the pickup, brush ourselves off, do the admin stuff, hang out for the day. One of the things I do want to do, though, we're gonna go over. There's a couple of news articles. There's the Viridian news that we have from yesterday and some stuff to talk about Viridian now. There's a new deal to talk about a little bit. And then after this, if you guys would indulge in me, I might try to do this live. I'm just going to show you off some of my No Man's Sky stuff. Partially because I'm trying to like put a lid on it. You know, I keep on saying like I want to stream it or whatever. So we're just going to try to like, I'm going to show you guys what I've been up to. See what you guys think. Hopefully if we've got time today. And then that will help me kind of put that onto the back burner so that way I can come back to putting most of my focus on actually playing Eve in my playtime. Because man, did that game get a hold of me and suck me in hard this last month or so. I will blame that. No Man's Sky is awesome, but it is very rarely does a game consume so much of my time over such a long period of time that it's like, oh no, this is actually a problem. I need to be able to pause this. But yeah, it has been good though. It's a really good game to like, I'll be honest with you. Another thing about this, let's be honest, guys. It's been kind of spooky to play Eve the last couple of weeks. You know, not just, I mean like, in broadly, but also me personally, I was having some connectivity issues, as you guys remember. Anytime I have connectivity issues, it low-key freaks me out. There was, of course, the local issues and some other stuff. There's been a lot of suppressing things that's like suppressing people's drive to be in Eve, or at least making being in Eve be more higher intensity than normal. And with everything else going on, I've been seeking kind of low intensity stuff. But again, trying to turn around, you know, turn the corner, get back on the horse, as it were. So it's good to know, or it's good to do. It's funny to hear this because I've been playing No Man's Sky on off since it came out, and I just came into Eve Online. I wish I hadn't played other space games. No, man. So I'll show you guys when I get there. I found the perfect solar system. Like I have like 8-9 bases in this one solar system. It's just so I've spent countless hours just going around this one planet, exploring it. I think that's one of the reasons why it's really hooked me this time, was because like normally it's just like, okay, one more planet, and like at a certain point, the disappointment in that can kick you out of the game. But like when you find a place that's just an absolute delight to just kind of fly around on, and by that I mean it's a low gravity storm planet. So I'll just show you guys later. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm a returning player, was thinking about moving to Pochven. Do you have any tips for what to do or not do, who to fly with, etc.? Started watching your videos and started up again about 2-year break. Ironically enough, I'm wearing my Kybernaut t-shirt. The Kybernauts run by Opus Magnus. Magnus? I think. Shit. Opus. He's awesome. They're pretty awesome. I can vouch for them. Pochven is just a really good place to, like, the more you just adopt the Triglavian lifestyle, you know, you can use filaments to raid out and raid back in, or, you know, jump back in. You know, just watch out for Drake's Panther. Is it an Earth-like planet? It is a corrupted, anomalous, bountiful planet. So it has all of the like natures of like a Gaia or like a paradise planet, but it also has some of the big bone anomaly like star things, and it's corrupted and has low gravity storms. Yeah, Opus Magnum of the of the Kybernauts, exactly. Eve is a great space. So I'll tell you this: No Man's Sky is my retirement plan, because I also have it on VR. So like I play Eve to like get something done. That's work. That's what I like. That's productivity. That's what I enjoy. No Man's Sky, I literally like, it's like smoke a joint, sit back, and just fucking chill, you know? I know. Okay, let's move on. We got things to talk about. Let's talk about boosting our training. Why am I bringing this up? I'm not just trying to shill for sales. The only reason I'm really bringing this up, honestly, is because there was a discussion earlier today in chat about in Discord, about whether or not CCP is always doing sales. And yeah, they often always have at least something on sale. So, you know, don't worry about that. If you know, I honestly don't recommend buying something that isn't in a good package, because there's always a good package right around the deal, right around the corner. But they do shift it around a little bit, right? Like right now, like at one point it might be skill injectors or skill extractors that are the thing that's easy to get. Another day it'll be like spending Plex to get game time. Another will be paying cash to get game time. Like they shift it around a lot. So it's a moving target. What's interesting about this is that I really don't think, hey, Mike, I really don't think that this is, I do think that this is the first time that they've ever had a sale for the boost bundles. I don't think that they've ever done a sale on just the raw, here's some SP bundles. So if we look at these, what we're talking about here, they did have a sale on packs. I should probably change that. They did have a sale on like the packs, like the gold pack. Well, they've done stuff on packs, like the gold pack, the silver pack, or whatever. But I don't remember much of them ever doing directly to the boost bundle. They might have done it before. Tesla's saying that they have, so they might have done it before. But the reason why this stands out to me, you're right. Actually, I think that they have done it once before. Now that you mention it, I believe that. But the reason why this stands out to me is that I find it interesting that CCP is now flagrantly pointing to these packs. And this may be the second time or whatever that they've done it. But every time they do it, I find it very interesting, because like these are the packs that are probably the most controversial, because this is selling SP directly, right? So normally they've been kind of always low key about these kinds of things. So the fact that they've started to sell these things as packs is just another sign that, like, I feel like CCP has, you know, they spent a long time trying to shift the culture of EVE Online to a certain extent. And I feel like this is a validation that they've crossed a threshold there, where they not only can have these packs, but they can literally have a dev blog, an update that comes out that advertises the fact that they're on sale. Does that make sense? Either way. But the big news that we want to talk about today is the expansion that's coming Viridian. We have gotten some new information about Viridian. I still continue to be really curious about this expansion. Mostly because here's the thing. I've been talking about this a lot in the Discord since I haven't been able to be live. It is true. Like, if you guys do want to like hang out or whatever, you can always just join our Discord, say hi, be polite, or join Convocation of Empyreans and hang out with us or be part of Aderon. Yeah, Riley. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, Riley. Thank you for reminding me too. Because you did. Where was it? So I keep coming back to the fact that I don't want to say like this is the Gallente expansion, right? Like Viridian. I keep coming back to Viridian. I've talked about this before. And like the Viridian expansion, it kind of bugs me a little bit because the idea that they would have a Gallente expansion is kind of weird. I want it to be something else. Where's the freaking image? There it is. But like, you look up the word Viridian, and like, I made a screenshot of Googling the word Viridian, and here over here on the right hand side is the color scheme of the Gallente from in game, and I can't justify that it's anything else. I feel like it would be disingenuous. I don't know what Viridian means in total. They'll probably play with this word a little bit, because it has a lot of other connotations. But the fact that it is literally like the Gallente color really, really gets under my skin. So, which brings me to, we're going to go through some of the tinfoil before we go into the devlog. The next thing to bring up is what Riley brought to my attention yesterday. So credit to Riley here, the Caldari sympathizer. But remember this girl right here? The Karen, as it were? I think even if you go back and watch the videos where I first was looking at this, it bothered me because I was like, I think I've seen her from somewhere. I feel like I've seen her from somewhere. Well, guess what? Riley, I think it was, figured out where she came from. You ready? This is the Eve Future Vision trailer. All right? We can actually pull up the actual trailer if we wanted to. But there is the girl from the Eve Future Vision trailer. Now, it doesn't look exactly spot on, but also this trailer is over 10 years old. In fact, this trailer was put out as part of the 10-year anniversary, right? This was one of their very first things to kind of show Dust and Eve kind of playing together in this idea of a future vision to set the next decade. We all know that how well that went, but I mean, at the same time, that's pretty critical. So, we have this. We may actually want to go back and watch that video because I think it might be telling us to maybe some of this information. It's also worth noting, doesn't she look a little bit Intaki to anybody else? Either way. The other key piece is in the Viridian trailer itself. So we're going to get to that in a second. Just know that like Viridian has this weird callback to this potential callback to this character from the Eve trailer. Actually, let's hold on. Let's do this right. Browser.
Honor isn't about making the right choices. It's about dealing with the consequences. There's a fine line between right and wrong. You'd better know which side of it you're on.
This is Balleo Gallente. We've reached the last checkpoint before the terminus.
Can you take the ground station?
Yeah.
The close air you promised.
Clearly the nerd.
Now keep going and do what I'm paying you for.
You just send an airstrike and the money. We'll take care of the rest. 6, break it, cover! Move up! Use your jacks! Hey! What? Get out of there! Where's that goddamn airstrike? We had an agreement. We did
Airstrike aborted.
There's been a change of plans, Vanguard.
Orbital strike launched.
Help isn't coming. At all.
The moment you lose your honor, that's when you learn the hard way. Your choice always comes back around.
Now, the thing about this video, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it is. But I'm saying, like, if you just, like forgot that this video existed previously, and they released this as a teaser for Vermilion, or Viridian, I keep on saying Vermilion instead, for Viridian, and like maybe themed the end here a little bit differently, we would buy it, right? It feels like it fits with what is happening right now. In fact, you know what? I can even prove it. I can prove that that's... I'm not just calling this out of my ass. I'm pulling it out of my ass from like 3 weeks ago. Hold on a second. So if we go back to the last time I made like a really well edited... I mean like a... Well, but like the New Eden News.
Concerns over the rising violence associated with the so-called Shadow War between the core empires in a rare public briefing before the new...
No, that's just... Oh, no! Shh. Okay. So, like, this is my video about the like 2 New Eden news ago.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Astro.
I put in a bunch of footage. I had to figure out how I was going to do it. But you know what? When I went to do the actual, like...
Clear ships lost. Shan Fayez of the Kana Kingdom and
Just
Mentis
watch
Black
this.
of the Federation Intelligence Office.
It's just
Notably,
it's the default
negotiators of the
ringtone for
Amar
my
Trade
phone.
Registry are
It's a
already reported
Moto,
to be
and I
meeting
haven't
with
changed it
officials
yet.
from the Federation Customs to discuss easing tariffs and agreeing practical steps towards lifting various of the sanctions both empires impose
Blah, blah, blah,
on
blah, blah.
holds following weeks of third day
Here
of
we go.
relative calm on steps towards lifting various of the sanctions both empires impose on one another. News in brief. Third day of relative calm on Antaki Prime as tentative peace holds following weeks of protests and riots. Brutal and extensive battles over purblind keepstars see over thousands of Capsuleer ships lost. Intaki Assembly hires Algento Corps PMC to hunt Anibra assassination cells after rebuffing Mordu's Legion. Trillions of ISK and structures, ships, and equipment
It's from
destroyed or
Echoes.
looted as Capsuleer's war runs hot. Intaki Autonomous Movement demands
It's
Federation
from the latest,
military
or one of the
leave
early,
Intaki
or
Prime
recent
for
scopes.
lasting civil peace. Refugees flee destruction of 3 keepstars and associated structures across
More
Pure
Echoes.
Blind. Free Intaki Army splinter
Look!
groups ambushes Namatar elite mercenaries in western Akat foothills. Capsuleer Coalition warlords prepare for further assaults on targets in northern outer regions. Verat Special Military
I'm
District
just saying, like,
duties assigned to
It's
elite
so
unit from
close
Galente
to the same
Police
theming.
Directorate.
It's the
Concord
footage I
emergency
used
responders and frontier safeguards assisting SOE search and rescue in Pure
when I
Blind.
needed footage
Senator
for what's
Shelley
happening
Bremner
right
and
now.
Kellen Antbod visit Lenoika Textile District to speak to community leaders. Republic Fleet monitoring strange energy discharges detected in atmosphere of Flossiswin 3. Garistas Pirates steals shipment of biotechnology research tools in transit.
And do I think that they planted it 10? No, I think that it's possible. No, because that implies that they made it 10 years ago with the intent to use it now. It's more like when you're building something now, you look for things to work with. And I think it's I think it's very, very possible that at some point somebody went back and saw the Future Vision trailer and was like, this is basically what we're doing. I don't know how early along that was done. No, the Abyssal lore was actually brought. They've even admitted to it. The Abyssal lore was added in like around 2014, 2015-ish time period. Well, maybe even a little bit after that. But they also said that like they didn't change too much. They just basically tweaked something that we didn't even know in the background. No. Okay, it's back. It's back. But yeah. Why? I'm back. Okay. So here's the key though. Going to the let's go to the dev blog and maybe we'll come back and talk about the whole Future Vision thing again. That's called foreshadowing. All right, so Viridian. Right? Yeah, Viridian in focus. Welcome to the first in a series of articles that will put elements in the upcoming EVE Online Viridian expansion in focus. So before we begin anything else, I just want to get this out there. As this points out, this is only a small piece of things. This is how they're going to be, this is like how they're dripping out the information, okay? So there's been some people that are like, why haven't they been telling us anything? Or more importantly, is this all that's coming? The answer is no. This is just the pretty high level stuff that they can just show off really easy without very much explanation to get people kind of interested in what's going on. Whereas we're going to get more and more meaty stuff as we go. This is like almost the definition of the tip of the iceberg. A lot of this stuff is just giving us kind of a taste of the pieces that are involved here, but there's still an obvious silhouette of this major change to potentially corporations, industry, projects, etc., that is coming in all this that we still have nothing about. So this is just the beginning. This is just the pretty outline, okay? So preparing us for the big day in June, where we'll be able to dive in and experience for yourselves. Viridian will be the first of two major expansions in EVE 2023, bringing it with new tools for capsuleers to manage their corporations and set goals, to personalize Upwell structures, as well as engage in socially driven gameplay content. It will also provide more avenues for new and existing players to forge relationships as they fly and strive together for the glory of their corporation. Another big element for this expansion will be the visual updates that add immersion, wonder, and depth to the universe in EVE Online, specifically those being made by the Empire frigates, Marauders, missile impact events, and volumetric clouds, all of which will be discussed throughout this article in the video below, as well as on the stream today at the 1600 EVE. Yeah, I didn't actually get a chance to watch the CCP TV stream, so if there's something in that is worth bringing up, I do know that apparently there's even prettier pictures of the Vargur shown or video footage. But in the meantime, yes, the dev blog. That's the other thing. So they've even given a timeline where next week is the dev blog on the T2 Marauders, right? It says it. Don't they say it here? I don't remember. Yeah. Next week on the Tech 2 Dreadnought dev blog. Okay.
For this Viridian expansion, I've been working on visual updates for the Empire frigates. In total, there are 68 of them, and they all got beautiful updates except the Rifter that was updated last January. We decided to update the frigate class rather than the other class in the beginning, because those ships are widely used in the game, very popular. Basically all new players start on those ships, and we wanted to make sure that those ships were up to date and as beautiful as possible when they start the journey in space. What I'm most happy about is basically how we managed to bring those ships even better to life, and that is achieved by tying the effects to what is happening to the ship. So many of those effects are tied to ship speed, the state, if it's going in or out of warp, and that gives the player absolutely a valuable feedback, but not just for the player, but also the others that are looking at the ship.
When making the new missile impacts, we really wanted to focus on differentiating them and making sure that each archetype really tells you what it is. So.
Oh, I want to go back. Okay, so just to clarify, just make sure everybody understands what's going on here. All of the frigates, which according to the video, I'm going to just say corvettes and frigates, and that seems to be T1 and T2, are going to get the pass that like adds a bunch of little lights and other doodads and effects on the frigates. One of the things they do mention the fact that the Rifter already had this done, which I think is important, but it's also worth noting that like we have the faction destroyers that just came out last expansion, and those have a lot of these light effects on it. And when they did that, like if I go and look at the catalyst, for example, I believe the catalyst also has some, I think that they added in some lighting effects on the catalyst as well. And some of the other T1 ships, as the T1 destroyers that got overhauled by got the new Navy ones. I'm pretty sure that they put some lighting effects on those and other ones too. So there really are like bringing these out, and frigates are kind of the biggest collection and you know, the one that a lot of people see the most, and also gets used probably the most in faction warfare. So warp sensitive lights, that's pretty cool too.
Were up to date and as beautiful, but not just for it.
When making the new missile impacts, we really wanted to focus on differentiating them and making sure that each archetype really tells you what it is. So a thermal explosion will be, you know, it'll look a lot more like heat. Electromagnetic will, you know, have some crackling energy and, you know, lighting up the surrounding areas. Of course, trying to make them beautiful at the same time, but making sure that like gameplay readability is much better than before. You should be able to tell it is what it is. You know?
Oh, sorry, thank you. I'm dumb. Stop it. Stop it. Yep, I got it. Thank you.
That are looking at the
focus on differentiating them and making sure that each archetype really tells you
Wait,
what it is.
Damn it! Still didn't do it.
Differentiating them and making sure that each archetype really tells you what it is. So a thermal explosion will be, you know, it'll look a lot more like heat.
In your mind's eye, just picture it.
You know, have some crackling energy and, you know, lighting up the surrounding areas. Of course, trying to make them beautiful at the same time, but making sure that like gameplay readability is much better than before. You should be able to tell it is what it is. You know, you can see, oh, they're attacking me with this because, you know, that's what it looks like.
I actually, you know, having said that, I honestly think that they should have done the kinetic. My issue is that with the splashiness of the kinetic, it makes it look a little bit too much like the EM to me. So that's just me. I feel like the kinetic one could be maybe a little bit more like visceral. The fact that it's a cloud makes it very hard. Like if you're just glancing between those and you saw one independent of the other and you didn't see that initial flash of the EM, it'd be kind of hard to tell the difference between the two.
Will, you know, have some crackling energy and, you know, lighting up the surrounding areas much better than before. You should be able to tell it is.
But it's not that bad.
You know,
I mean, it's still good. It's great.
Attacking me with
Don't
this
get me wrong.
because, you know, that's what it looks like in this Viridian expansion.
But like I could say that the thermal one is like a fireball and the explosive one is like a fireball with projectiles. The EM one has the crackles and the kinetic one does not. But outside of that difference, they both kind of look like greenish, bluish clouds.
We have actually, we're delivering to the gameplay teams 8, you know, base clouds with 43.
So this is interesting for 2 reasons. One, like this is a big piece of what they've been trying to do for a long time, right? They've been talking about EVE Online and weather, and oh my god, my green screen is distracting me. I apologize to everyone else. The thing about this is they've always wanted to show, they've been showing off like the desire to do some truly stunning visual effects and scenes, and like volumetric clouds is a huge piece to that. And you've seen that they've played with that, with like bringing back the storms that show up in the skybox, these giant rocks and all that kind of stuff. That was an argument that was best favored in L4D Left 4 Dead game. Should be recognizable in shadow, profile, color, all distinct. I agree. I think that like the kinetic had room to like explode and then like suck back in, kind of like a structure does when it blows up or something like that. Just a totally different visual like effect as opposed to the EM having that extra layer on top. I don't know, whatever. Maybe I'm just nitpicking. But the point is that the volumetric clouds is a big piece of this overall desire to make truly striking 3D scenes. And what are home front operations? That's a wonderful question. I don't know. But it sounds cool, doesn't it? It seems to suggest things that would be going on in high-sec to support the low-sec stuff. If I had to predict, it'd be some way to affect advantage or something like that, possibly even involving the HQs themselves. But apparently there's going to be new dungeons, which are sites in space. So hopefully we'll find out more about that soon.
With 43...
The volumetric clouds are way too graphically intensive for this game, IMO. Well, you don't know how graphically intensive they are yet. The thing is that like this is the kind of thing that we get for that DirectX 12 upgrade, and like some of the bigger upgrades that they've been doing was directly to unlock this kind of stuff. And we've been seeing them play with this stuff for a while now. You know, we've seen the clouds with the lightning effects around the Edencom structure and Turner and other places like that. They've been working kind of towards this step by step. I always hear this whole thing about graphic intensity, but since a lot of these gains are coming from implementing better technology in doing 3D effects, in a lot of cases, these are not just not creating a dramatic impact, but because they use more advanced systems, they actually are less intensive than you would expect, than even older systems were. Can I start all over? No, because that implies like we've done something important worth going back to.
Variations. So what are the possibilities with these new volumetric clouds? Well, this is really the first time we're bringing this kind of quality clouds into the gameplay space. You know, EVE has always been known for these beautiful background nebulas, and this is kind of the first time you get to almost that level inside the gameplay space, and that will make these new.
I actually think that this could help in situations like the event thing that just happened, right? Like everybody was complaining about the big bloom in the event site, but a lot of that is because of the fact that they didn't have proper they didn't have proper environment or like volumetric clouds to use, which means they have to do cheating effects like that end up just making the entire thing blow out with bloom. I think that had they have had volumetric clouds for those sites, they could have actually gotten a visually awesome effect without making it look terrible for everybody.
Home front operations dungeons are much more immersive and exciting and beautiful places to visit. You really feel.
People still use fog to combat render distance, but yes, that's true.
Feel like you're passing by, these filaments of cloudy bits and cloudy bits, and this is then something you're actually like you feel a lot more that you're flying through them and around them, and inhabiting the space of these clouds is just it's a game changer, honestly.
I think it's going to be cool with like you shooting your lasers out or something like that and watching the light like bloom around you in the volumetric clouds if you're sitting inside of one.
So the main goals for us when we were updating the Marauders is to really kind of help push the aggressiveness and the kind of powerfulness of these hulls when they enter their Bastion mode, which is a module that can be fitted on the ships. So typically at the moment you'll see that the ship will change state and it will animate, exposing like a reactor core to space. We really wanted to kind of push that look and that feel of power So we've used particle effects, a lighting pass on the hull, holographic paneling to really kind of push how powerful these ships are, especially when they change state and they're kind of doing extra damage to everybody around them. From a gameplay perspective, being able to see the ship when it's entered Bastion mode, even when you've just walked onto grids and you can see it, these will be a lot more noticeable. It'll have obviously a lot of a sharper, brighter image around itself, so you'll be able to spot it on the battlefield a lot clearer. And then obviously seeing the particle effects and everything kind of rolling off the ship, yeah, you'll know what it's doing when you're viewing it from afar.
I really wish that there was more effects on the Paladin, I ain't gonna lie.
So you'll be able to spot it on the battlefield a lot clearer. And then obviously seeing the particle effects and everything kind of rolling off the ship, yeah, you'll know what it's doing when you're viewing it from afar. Anytime we receive any updated tools or any kind of enhanced visual effects packages that we receive from our internal engine team.
So why does this one matter? Okay, so what this one shows though, look, if we go back and look at the golem, we can see that the particle effects are blue, which matches the other particle effects, right? So that's fine. In here, if we look with this skin, the skin actually turns it from blue to red because that's what it does to the lighting. The skin changes the lighting of the ship, therefore it changes the color of the particle effects. This means, guys, that the Dreamcast skin golem is going to have flagrantly pink particle effects, just so that everybody understands the full implications of what we're looking at here.
Our internal engine team will be always looking to kind of roll these out across all the ships in EVE. It just takes a little bit of time, and we're slowly working our way through them, but yeah.
Wait, why is the Paladin red now? Is that your question? Because the Paladin has always been red.
Rest assured, we'll get through them all eventually.
Pink sounds great, yeah. All right. So, that's pretty cool, but it was pointed out to me, this is the right video, right? Oh, the golem, okay. Okay.
When they start the journey in...
The
Where's that?
archetype really tells you what it is, so a thermal explosion.
The bottom one, okay. So if we scroll down to the bottom of this thing, to the volumetric clouds one, oh yeah, okay, listen. I mean, gorgeous, right? Not the slaver hounds. Anything but the slaver hounds. Okay. That's intense. If anything, I think that the new Homefront sites are going to be closer to the Shadow War sites. But I don't know. However, that song stood out to people. And if we go back... So,
isn't about making the right choices.
Here's the thing
It's
about this
dealing
tinfoil,
with
okay?
the consequences.
No one's saying
There's
anything,
a fine line
for sure.
between right and
It just seems
wrong.
pretty
You'd better know
clear
yourself,
that they
baby.
at least are looking at the old assets from this time period.
Can you take the ground station?
So both the lady and the music from this video are found in the Viridian coverage. What does that mean? I have no idea. But that does look like, if you told me that that was Landspire, or whatever, not Landspire, but what is it, Yavat, whatever the big spire that everybody's been fighting over, and these are, you know, terrorists in the Kavachi foothills, like, I would 1,000% believe you. This literally could have been the trailer for Viridian, and they use it with the music from Viridian, which is really weird, right?
There's been a change of plans, Vanguard.
Orbital strike launched.
Help isn't coming. At all.
Especially since they clearly used this song, this music. This music was clearly made for the beats of this trailer. But then they used that music and they made the beats of the footage that they made match the music as it was already made for this trailer.
The moment you lose your honor, that's when you learn the hard way. Your choice.
It's just a strange amount of intent. I can't explain why, per se. It's just, you know, cool. Thanks for pointing that out, Riley. All right. Let's see, anything else that we want to look at? I mean, I do think that's cool. Oh, is that the fire right there? Underneath, at the bottom of the main panel? Pretty cool. Oh, 7 Sidewinder. I do really like the thermal explosion, actually. We've already kind of seen all these, right? They show all of those in this movie, right? Yeah. I think. Somebody on, like, Reddit was like, who cares? Why do they even need lights on their stuff? It's like, what are you using it for when you're trying to land in an atmosphere at night? I'm like, because it looks really cool. Shut up. You need something to light up the volumetric clouds, yo. All right, that's it. That's all I have really for today. Today's been kind of a whatever day, but turret models need a revamp? Maybe. I think that there's probably bigger fish to fry than that, but I can see where you're coming from. They haven't been touched on for a while. I think that drones should probably be touched on first. All right. By the way, as far as the Shadow Wars update, it's worth noting, A, it appears that you can continue to turn in Shadow War sites to the Gallente for stellar transmuters. It doesn't give anybody progress anymore. It doesn't give you progress. It doesn't give the Gallente progress. But they are still accepting stellar transmuter data cores in Intaki right now, and you still get the lockbox for it. So, just so you know. Also, with the Gallente passing over 50%, within the next day or so, we should be able to get the transporter data core stuff in all 4 regions of space now. Right now, both the Amar and the Mimitar can both also spawn transport sites along with Kaldari. So the thing is that we're getting closer and closer to Viridian. So let's hope that people don't miss the boat. Everybody is still pretty far behind when it comes to completing the transport stuff behind Caldari. So it is worth going back and redoubling our efforts to try to make this happen. I think the Gallente are within 3% of catching up overall effort with the Amar. So if you want to help out, please do, and we will give you guys support over in Iteron Robotics and Mauro. You guys enable drone models? Well, I will give up 4 FPS for cooler effects. That's for sure. Yes. Well, everybody's kind of slowed down a little bit now. I mean, it's quite the grind. Also, with the event going on, it's kind of divided focus because there were a lot of people that were just doing Shadow War sites because there wasn't a non-PvP event option to do. But now they have a non-PvP event option to do. And the same thing I was talking about earlier with No Man's Sky, like sometimes I don't want something high intensity, you know? I want to be able to do something that I can just chill out in. And the issue is that there's been enough problems with connects and disconnects and stuff that I couldn't even do event sites without being a little bit on edge. By the way, speaking of which, there's a bug that you guys should be paying attention to, which is in the Guri Malakan sites. There is a bug that if you get jammed by the Griffin, it can get into this weird state. Like, the way I had it was, the way it happened to me, I killed the Griffin, but I still had the Gila and the Dramiel locked. But then when I tried to attack the Gila or the Dramiel, it just told me that I didn't have them locked. It failed to work because I didn't have them locked. If I tried to lock them, it didn't do anything because they were already locked. And if I tried to delock them, it didn't do anything. So I couldn't lock them, I couldn't delock them, and I couldn't use anything on them. So this Dramiel and Gila just had me scrammed until someone else came into the site and killed them for me. Basically what's happening is that it seems to be that when the NPC jams you, it doesn't clear your other locks correctly. So the game now gets in this weird state where you have them locked visually, like your client says that they're locked. So you have them locked and you can't issue a lock or a delock command. But the server thinks that you're not locked. So when you try to issue like a shot or something like that, it says that they're not locked. I have talked to CCP about this. This is a known but not well understood bug at the moment. So if you do get this any information that you can get to CCP in the terms of like bug reports, put in a bug report, and if you can, you know, let me or let CCP know your bug report ID, and we'll try to, you know, pull this together so that way we can figure out what exactly is going on. Well, the problem with drones is that, like, they're also pretty aggressive against drones. So, all intended, yeah. So, it's one of those things that, like, I'm hoping that, like, this is one of those things that could potentially affect things in the future. So, it'd be neat to be able to figure out how to stomp this out, because I've never seen it before. But like I said, it's been spooky to play Eve recently, so that's why I was suggesting with everything coming up, with Viridian and Shadow War wrapping up and all this stuff, it is time to be like, well, yeah, I mean, local was broken. It's not broken anymore. Hallelujah, it's fixed. Yeah, it's time to get ready to... It's time to get back into Eve again. There's things to do. Speaking of which... Hold on, I gotta go to r/Eve because there's a great post that I want to bring attention to. Hold on. So apparently somebody lost their ship because and blamed a lack of local, and so petitioned CCP to reimburse the ship because local was broken. And you know, I've talked about the fact that CCP should have doubled down on this fact a long time ago, like back when local was messed up the first time. I'm just glad that they made it clear right now, and the response that we got on Reddit is actually pretty hilarious. Like, the people that tried to back this up or try to claim like a foul at this is hilarious to me. But either way, it says, unfortunately, now, by the way, before we say this, it is against the rules to post GM correspondence. So even though this is whatever, this is probably against the rules to post this. But either way, it's now out there, so we're going to be talking about it. All right. Unfortunately, chat issues and outages are not grounds for reimbursing a loss suffered, as the design and intent of the chat system was never to be an intelligence tool or something that notifies you of hostile approach or any dangers that you may face. The scanning tool is meant for that. Chat is only for communication with other players in game, and while the chat system has become a tool relied on by the community for intelligence, then chat outage cannot be considered grounds for reimbursement. With the chat system being detached from Tranquility itself to ensure the server does not go down even when the chat system struggles, then it is even clearer that the server is supposed to survive without the chat service if needed. Based GM GOAT. Generally, any compensation that may be given due to widespread issues affecting every player is in this manner will always be given out on a server-wide scale rather than an individual basis. As such, we will not grant compensation and tickets sent in, as that would not be fair to those who did not send a ticket. Finally, I will close this ticket as we consider this issue to be resolved. If you are still affected by an issue that is not fixed, please submit a new ticket and we'll answer you as soon as possible. Hot. And of course, here comes Drake. Saying literally told in no uncertain terms to use the D-scan and get good. Man. And then, of course, this... who is DJ? I can't remember. Current member of the CSM. I don't remember who, which current member, but it's... Do not, my friends, become addicted to local. It will take a hold of you, and you will resent its absence. It's so true. Like, the only thing... Like, if these local disruptions bother you, it just shows how much we've relied on this thing, how much we've defaulted on a chat protocol to be our intel tools. This is why I've said that I want CCP to actually come up with like an honest-to-God intel system. Man, who was it that somebody was telling Drake that he's clearly never hunted before because nothing he suggested would work. And it's just so funny because, like, if you guys don't know, Drake is like one of the deadliest people in Quzxpon. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh my god, what a back and forth. Didn't think anyone would use a prototype cloak for hunting recon. Seems pointless to me. What? Okay, either way. Look, guys. EVE Online... Like, this is an HTFU moment, right? Like, we all had to deal with it. People either dealt with it or they didn't deal with it. A lot of people logged out. I didn't do some things because of it, and I did different things because of it, right? Just as many things as there were that you couldn't do because you didn't have the blanket of safety of local, you could now do because you didn't have the increased threat that anyone who wanders into the system immediately knows that there's something interesting going on, right? You know what we did? We did low-sec mining. We did, we didn't do our high-sec mining because because people could come in and gank. So people did low-sec mining instead because nobody could see you're there. Come on, man. There's for every when Bob closes a door, they blow open a wall. Geez, it was pretty quiet. It was funny, or it was nice rather. The bus operates in local exclusively. Mike, you should be reimbursed game time for you personally alone above everybody else should have 3 days of game time reimbursed to you because your gameplay was undeniably affected. Although that opens up the door for all of the Hypernet scammers, so never mind. Sorry, suck it up. Yeah, it was some nice gas huffing days too. Exactly, man. I'm telling you, whenever anybody says that no one's doing something, that's the time that you see that there's an opportunity, you know? Yeah, let's not reimburse the spammers. Oh man. All right, guys. We're gonna become a No Man's Sky stream for a few minutes if that's okay with everybody. And if it's not okay, well then I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow we're gonna go through and show how to do Yeet exploration from start to finish. So as a brand new pilot with I'm going to make a brand new character with only the stuff that you get from the very beginning and the million free SP that you get. I'm going to go out and do nullsec exploration and see how successful it is. And we're going to talk about everything I would need to know. So it's going to be a great time to learn about exploration, about probing, about hacking, everything. And I'm going to be doing it all live tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's see what I can do. Hold on. Let's see. I know, it's black, we understand that. Okay, there's that. That's a good start. And then we're gonna start the game. And I'm gonna hit that and go to game capture. Does it work? Oh, hey, look at that. But I gotta put my head in front. Okay, guys. I want to show off what I've been up to. I want to justify this number right here, okay? Because I want to point out that I didn't start this character, playing this character for realsy, until about 2 months ago. So I played it a while ago, but that I have 2 different Steam accounts now. So I started playing on my second Steam account with a new character. So this number right here, this is why I haven't been getting as much EVE content done recently as I can. And I apologize, but I'm also kind of not sorry because this has been really fun. But also No Man's Sky's been on some pretty good sales recently. So if this is interesting to you, not a sponsor, but you should go and check it out. So still a new player? No, again, this is just this character. I think my previous save had over 1,000 hours. This is just since, all right, 07, Mike. This is just since Interceptor came out. Or I guess technically the one before Interceptor. I think I probably had 40 hours, 50 hours on this character before that. Okay, so this is actually my site B. This is the place I was working on yesterday. I like setting up my bases at the Sentinel towers so that way I can shut off the Sentinels when I want to. And this is also so this solar system. I want to introduce you to the solar system first. Let me shut off these guys real quick. So this is the solar system that I have. We have a glacial planet, a grassy planet, a verdant planet, a capped planet, a endless morass, and a high radius source planet. But the thing about these two is that both the grassy and the verdant are both anomalous as well. So in the case, especially of this one, it's a grassy planet, so it's all of the stuff of a normal, prosperous planet, but its storm is low gravity, and it's got all of the normal stuff of, a corrupted planet, which is the stuff that they added in. So, now that I've turned off those Sentinels, I can go up to these towers. And not only can I quickly get the cool stuff that gives me a bunch of nanites and everything without actually triggering the bad guys because they're already shut off, but because they're shut off, the ones that were already there are actually killed off. So I can just go around and find these big purple mirrors, and they're also surrounded by other Sentinel poo. What game is this? This is No Man's Sky. So No Man's Sky, for those of you who may not know, when it first came out, it was very much half-baked. But they've been coming out with pretty regular free expansions, like every 2 or 3 months, for the last 5 years or so. And so now it's very extensive. There's a lot of stuff. So, any rate, I have upgraded all my stuff. I have like a max size exosuit, and my freighter has been upgraded pretty good too. But I've been working mostly recently on getting better at my base building stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you guys a little bit. So first, like I said, this is the one I've been working on the most recently. I call it Site B, because it's on the same system, it's on the same planet as my main base now. But we have this, it's Destiny. Hold on a second. I gotta... Yeah, no, it's actually pretty impressive what No Man's Sky has achieved. I killed my jackdaw. How'd I kill your jackdaw? What'd I do? What are you talking about? I didn't kill sheep. Also, that's fine. So, well, it's funny because I have it's Omega Base, but then it's Omega Base B. So it's Omega Site B. Either way, so the security area where the tower is the red zone. So I've got my weapons platform. And you got to keep in mind that I also play this in VR, and literally in VR, it's a totally different gameplay, because mostly you just kind of walk around and go ooh ah at all the things that you put up, rather than do too much high intensity stuff yourself. So, you know, I built a lot of this stuff to just be spaces to quote unquote live in. But either way, so like the idea is that this is like the security checkpoint. People have to come in here, and there's like a place where you can like watch it, and there's like the guns and, you know, all the stuff to do your surveillance and stuff. And then here in the blue section is the different vehicles. So I've got my hover vehicle, which is my favorite, and then my bike, which I've tried to use some more of. And out here, where it's not under a roof, I have the the exosuit. If you put it under a roof, it actually lands on the roof. It's pretty funny. Yeah, VR equals Y. I'm just saying, like, I do intend, like, some stuff, like, I like to do the, going through the derelict freighters, like the spooky places to go through. That's pretty fun in VR. But, like, driving around in these vehicles in normal version is fine. In VR is vomit-inducing. So, in the yellow section is my portal. So I've got all kinds of little doodads and decorations here. The reason why I do this is because sometimes when I put up a portal like this, I'll like portal in and end up in the layer below it. So anytime I do a portal, you'll see that I do like this room underneath the portal. So that way, if that happens, I spawn in this room instead of in like underneath the building, which is unfortunate when that happens. And then I've got the upstairs area, which I have a little display here. And goes further upstairs, and up in the green zone is my ship landing pad, and then underneath it I've put a bunch of lighting stuff to make it so that it looks like cool. So yeah, that's this base, but my primary base is actually Omega Base. This is my favorite. I've been working on the interceptors. For those of you who haven't played No Man's Sky in a while, like, you can get all kinds of different ships, but the interceptors are really cool because A, they look sweet, but also they have like full-on hover. Most of the time ships can't hover. My gate room is not up to SGC code. I'll work on it. How about that? They need to give me a oh man, what's their dialing machine called? I can't remember now. I have too many bases. Omega base. Oh, actually, rather than that, I actually kind of want, like, this ship. This is what I mean by the fact that it looks like a normal verdant place, but there's also, like, these things are part of an anomalous planet. So it shows you that there's something weird going on. But with the sentinels turned off, this planet basically has zero danger, which is great, because you just kind of roam around and have whatever fun you want. Somebody made the joke that I finally, like, of course, Ash found a way to have a red triangle as my ship. It's hard to see because I'm in a purple planet effect. But if I come out here, you can see that my ship is very much a red triangle. Yeah, DHD, that's what it was. I have a few. Here, actually, I'll pull up my freighter. It's a Nakwita generator, right? That's the power system. You get your own freighter, which is like a mobile base. So I've got all these other ships too. Like I've got that one, which is like a blue version of the other one. I've got this one, which is like a little blue mini one. This one, which is very much like a Star Wars style thing, came from the last expedition that they did. That's one I still need to sell. I've got this little... I've got my blue ball. And my living ship. Do you just leave the freighter in space when you're not using it? Yeah. I've got a few interceptors. I've posted pictures of all my different ships and stuff. Either way, inside the freighter, so I have my save point right here, and then I have a door with two teleporters. This teleporter goes to my tech room. This teleporter goes to my reprocessing or refinery room. So like, my refinery room is probably the simpler of the two. It's in the back of the base. It's also got my stellar extractors, but it allows me to like do a bunch of refining, which is something you have to do a lot of at one time, usually. But then I also have my science room, which puts all of my stuff that I use all together. Like, so that way if I'm managing my expeditions where you can send ships out to do stuff, you can check on them all right here. Remember, this is right next to the entrance of my base, so you can just go and hop over here and do this real quick. And then there's the place to sell. When I'm in a new system, this allows me to scan all of the planets in the system, so that way I don't need to go around and scan them all manually. And then this allows me to spawn all of my different vehicles anywhere, any system that my freighter can be in, which now I've focused on making sure that I have all the engine parts, so now my freighter can go to anywhere, any star type. So I can always just go to any old system I want to, and then bring in my freighter and then summon my vehicles. I don't have to worry about putting up a colony or anything. This is No Man's Sky. Sorry, I'm just checking in. So I'm just getting like the rewards from my dudes. If I go back here, now that I've turned those in, I can go and talk to this guy and put him out again. So these are like my expeditions. So I can be like, hey, combat mission, put out 2 of my combat guys, and then I always try to put in a support unit to help out with the fuel, and then an organic unit. Because if you put out an organic ship, then you can get organic ship parts back. If you don't put an organic ship out there, then you have a much smaller chance of getting organic ship rewards to upgrade your own organic ship. So that's the real reason why I'm even doing these expeditions, really, is to try to trigger the living ship parts. I just send them out, and then, you know, when I come back in a few hours, depending on which one of these missions that it is, and then here is my main bay of my freighter. I made it open to kind of give it more of a city vibe than a freighter. These side rooms are based on all the different plants and stuff. We did a cap fight with no local, killed a bunch of guys at the ESS, probably didn't even know that the cap fight was happening. Amazing. So like one of the big things to do in the game to make money at the top end is to build these fusion igniters and the stasis devices. And so each of those takes basically a bit of everything, right? It takes gas, it takes carbon, it takes a bunch of different plants, etc. So like these rooms are designed to let me be able to grow a bunch of all the different plants. So when I need to, I can just come and harvest. Because the problem is that like you try to stockpile, but you only get so many slots. And actually I have it now that I can stack up more, but like when I first started, a lot of things only stack up to 1,000. So like I had an entire page of just cobalt. So you run out of storage pretty quick. So it's you often need to try to make value out of it. So what I've been trying to do is make it so that rather than having to have stockpiles of stuff, I just have places where it's available, right? So anytime I need, if I need mushrooms for whatever, I just come here and, oh look, I already have a room full of mushrooms ready to harvest, whatever. So that's been kind of my big goal when it comes to my bases recently. So that's why you see these big planting areas. I have done a bunch of stuff with cooking, which I want to make actually a video guide for, because I think that a lot of the information on cooking is both out of date and also doesn't really help you understand like why or what it is or why it's interesting. It's kind of cool. In here I have all my different, this is where all my containers are. The value here is that with this and a certain upgrade for your freighter, with this upgrade here, the matter beam, now I can just bring my freighter in and I can access everything in all of my storage containers from any system. Normally you'd have to build a base and build all of these different containers in every single base, and they're big and clunky and you can only use it when they're around. But with that matter beam, it makes it so that you can just turn your freighter into a mobile container for all of your storage stuff. Can you still... yes. Oh, yeah. The whole thing, like the economy, the cash economy is kind of designed to be broken. They did make it so a lot of the stuff that you used to farm, like activated indium and stuff, the easy stuff to farm for credits and stuff, have been nerfed. That's why, like, I do these big, like, building it all together into the big thing to sell for a bunch of credits, just because it's easy. The thing is that you can crash the economy, and that's fine. That's a good way to get a few million credits when you need it. But, like, I generate a few 100 million credits a day. So... and it's 90% passive. Oh, right. So... for those of you, the cool thing about those ships that I send out is that you go around and you collect your guys. So you fly around space. Like, this game really is like a collection simulator. You fly around like an infinitely complex, procedurally generated universe, and you find your favorite ship and your favorite comrade and your favorite freighter and your favorite planet. That's literally what it is. You just go around and collect. So this is all my team. This is the team. These are my guys that I haven't sent out on missions right now. But it's really cool. Like, you can come over here And you can even like land on these ships. Again, super awesome VR. Yeah, it is a great way to make money in the early game. Yes, I do favor the ones that look like nesters. But, you know, you can come on here and you can where is it? Ah, here. So it's really cool, like all the different stuff that you can find in this. There's just so much to this game. This is how you can lose like hundreds and thousands of hours just looking at stuff. But let's go find my main Omega base. What base is that? Oh yeah, Omega base. Oh my gosh, I can barely. I like the look of the ship, but I can't use that camera view very much. It is worth, if you already have it, it is worth checking it out again, man. Like there's been so much, they've redone so much stuff. Here, I'll show you guys a fight. I won't shut off the sentinels this time. There is going to be a new expedition coming out soon, probably, so you can also wait till that happens, but it might be worth getting an interceptor first. It's hard to say. Expeditions you kind of start over in, so it doesn't really matter. So welcome to my primary base. My primary base actually has like 4 different sections, 5 different places. I have a lot of different bases all over the place, but here's Omega base. So to begin with, this is my extraction and warehouse area. So like over here, we get a bunch of the paranithium and the nitrogen that are able to be in this area. And then I have my own vehicle bay, which this is where I can display that. Ready? If I click and summon the guy here, oops. If I summon him here, wait, where'd he go? Why isn't he here? Why isn't he here? Oh, wait. He's on the roof. Because the mech suit drops from the sky, so it drops and lands on the roof. That's why the other one doesn't have him in the roof. Anywho. That sentry building is kind of the latest one I was working on. It's just kind of designed to be pretty. But I also have these teleporters, so here's my main like my living space. Let's let it load in, I guess. Oop, and it's got the portal room, of course. And then here's kind of like this is the pyramid fortress. Go away, Boulder. This is kind of just a big room. I haven't figured out what to do with this room or the upstairs room yet, per se. Besides just make pretty things there. Down here I have my security checkpoint room with my armory guy. And over here I have my science room with my science guy. And then, like, you can see I've just started the whole idea of like making actual like builds. So I haven't done any, like, you can do glitch building. Like there's specific rules that you have to follow when you're making building, or like it lets you do, but there's ways of glitching it so you can build a bunch of crap in ways that the normal systems don't necessarily let you. And that's totally fine. It's not like against the rules or anything. I've made these only with the tools that are given to you by the game. It really is like a game that you can just lose yourself in, like exploring and having fun in the universe. All right, let's get into a fight, shall we, guys? I'm not going to shut off the Sentinels this time. We'll fight them. Because there's been a pretty big overhaul to the Sentinel fighting, so if you haven't played the game in a little while, you might want to check this out. Maybe? Hold on. Never mind, I've already shut down the Sentinels here. I'm going to have to go somewhere else. Senti Wars? No, so there's a lot of strong hints, especially with the Interceptor stuff, that there's a lot more involving the Abyss and the Void Mother coming. That's the big thing, is it's the rise of the Void Mother. So, okay, here's some lore. Basically, there's 3 different races, right? There's the Korvax, the Gek, and the Vrykrin. And this is a little bit of a spoiler, but there's so many different layers that this is like spoiling the very tip of the iceberg. Basically, a long, long time ago, the Gek, which are like the small, friendly, beak, you know, tradesmen, almost like the Ferengi of the universe, they used to be giant warlords. They were known as the Gek, the first spawn of the Gek, and they were like dominated the galaxy. And so while the Vrykrin were busy fighting the early Sentinels, the Gek kind of came through and took over most of the galaxy and made it to, yeah, of course I know the No Man's Sky lore, went to Korvax Prime. Korvax are a bunch of robots that basically had one unifying consciousness called the Great Convergence. And the Gek showed up. The Convergence was originally like built out of Korvax Prime. So this robot race built their hive mind computer out of the planet itself. Well, the Gek came and destroyed Korvax Prime. Okay, but here's the thing: the Convergence wasn't actually created by the Korvax. The Convergence was created by the Atlas. The Atlas is like this god figure AI that's kind of running the show. The Korvax kind of worship the Atlas to a certain extent. But the point of the matter is that the original Korvax Prime was effectively a copy of the Atlas made by the Atlas to interface with his people. So the Gek destroyed Korvax Prime and therefore that artificial intelligence, shattering the Convergence. But the story goes that that Convergence didn't actually die, that something about it continued to exist and was fragmented throughout the galaxy, and the screams of the Convergence cried out to the Sentinels, and a fair chunk of them rebelled against the Atlas and joined the other AI, the destroyed AI, as the corrupted Sentinels. And then they went around and brought out nanites, corrupted nanites, and dropped it into the water, corrupting a lot of the life forms of the water, which is why that's where the abyssal horrors are there, and that's where the Abyss comes from. So the Abyss is an entity that is also known as the Void Mother, which turns out to actually be this echo of Korvax Prime, which is, I guess, angry at reality. And while Atlas represents very much like stagnation and archiving and preservation, the Void Mother represents mutation, change, corruption. And so the Void Mother is gaining power now. So if you go, there's these new sites that you can find, and there's like hidden messages that get flashed up in binary and stuff. One of the main messages that all of the distress beacons say now is Void Mother. So here's my planting area. So each section here has the plant that gets grown, and then you can go in and, like, I love these the most because it allows you to basically harvest tons of them. You know, normally you have to harvest one at a time. In the freighter, you can harvest 4 at a time. In these, you can harvest like 16 of them at a time, I think it is. Hold on, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hey! 16 at a time. So it's way more efficient way to grow all of my plants. So I do like using these. And, you know, this helps me find which one's which. And so I just kind of want to do that. I also really love this site. Again, in the sign that this is the perfect planet in the history of ever, I not only have the Sentinel Tower over there so I can turn off the Sentinels whenever I want, but over here I have a trading hub so I can go and just do my trading whenever I want at the same time. And I have free landing platforms without having to put up even more landing platforms, which is pretty hot. See, these are the Corvex. Is there a Gek here? I don't think there's a Gek here. Anywho, so let me show you what I've been having fun with, okay? Because, like, all this stuff is No Man's Sky. That's all fine. I just wanted to show you guys kind of some of the stuff that's cool about No Man's Sky and whatnot. We'll do the Sentinel stuff in a second. But let me show you what has been getting my attention. Because, man, sometimes you want to play a video game and get things done. Sometimes you want to just go around and have just, like, popcorn-inducing fun. So this is my Nomad, okay? And I wasn't a really big believer in the ground vehicles. Like, why would I get in a ground vehicle when I can be in a ship or just, like, run around? I can't use the same radars when I'm in a ground vehicle. It's whatever. Well, first of all, not only can the Nomad, like, do a search for all kinds of crazy stuff that is, like, just handy. Like, anytime I want to find a portal, I can just use this to find the nearest alien structure and then use that to find a portal, right? If I can scan for ruins, abandoned structures, all this kind of stuff. So I can be like, okay, where's the closest abandoned structure? Cool. And just go there. So that's cool. But here's the thing that really gets me about, once you've upgraded it, it goes pretty fast. But because it's a hover vehicle, it is all terrain. It goes over water, it goes over earth, but it also goes straight up. So, yeah, when it says that Astaroth is surveying a planet for like 6 hours or something like that, there is a decent chance that a fair chunk of it is literally me just driving around like this, especially on this planet, because it's got these amazing basically skate parks like this area here, where you can like slide all the way around and like go around in loop-de-loops and like fly around. This is what I'm saying. Like this right here would not work in VR. I would fucking die if I tried to do VR in this thing. You can, and then on top of all of this, this is also, it'll have a low gravity planet, so we'll see what happens when it's low gravity. But so I can just like drive around and like have fun and like blaze around and find all kinds of cool stuff and just have fun bouncing off of stuff and shooting stuff and just being silly. Like this feels like such a reward for getting this far into this game, that I get to just like bend this planet to my will and turn it into a giant playground for myself. Oh yeah, oh yeah. No. Hold on. Let me give you guys a hint. Because in VR, here's your camera view. It is exactly as bad as you think it might be. Like, I've gotten pretty decent at like surviving in VR, like without getting sick or whatever. But no, you are actually going upside down in a giant hovercraft at full speed ahead, bouncing off of cliffs and stuff, and sailing through the air. It's pretty wild. All right. I'm literally upside down. I've gotten lost in caves like this though too, because like there's so many cool places to go and hunt for. Like, I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. We were trying to do something. I could do this for the next 20 minutes. Whee! Look, we already at the very beginning. I told everybody that this is the pick pick us up and get back to it. I'm doing this literally to get it out of my system, because from that, like, we're going to be focusing more on Eve again, and I've been playing so much No Man's Sky, I just needed to show you guys what I've been doing, so that way I can work on something else. I appreciate your indulging me this opportunity. Ah, come on. Some of these are doing a little bit too good at getting me to go upside down. It's a little bit hard to watch as a monitor. Yeah, no kidding. All right, let me go to more of the normal stuff. Here we go. You can make yourself soar through the air, and there's something absolutely delightful about that to me. I'm trying to get a low, like, I can't wait for the low gravity thing. Come on, Storm, let's go. I know, right? I would kill to do this on like an Eve planet. But the thing is that, like, No Man's Sky really is about you just, like, breaking the universe to your will at a certain point. So I don't think that this would work in a well, like, this funny thing is that actually No Man's Sky is as much, if not more, of a sandbox than Eve in a lot of ways. But the solution is that No Man's Sky has so many gosh darn solar systems and planets that it doesn't matter, right? Like, you can be a sandbox and nobody's going to be able to really mess with your stuff so much, or it isn't that big of a problem if you allow people to build a base that other people can't destroy, because there's 10 quintillion other planets for people to worry about, right? It's fine. I feel like my gameplay of No Man's Sky in the last month has been like when you beat Grand Theft Auto 5, and then you suddenly realize that Grand Theft Auto 5 is just a retirement simulator, right? And like next thing you know, you're just going around and like riding around on jet skis and playing golf. I really feel like it's become that for me. Whee! Come on. We might have to come back and see if we can do low gravity again later, because the storm was just ending when I showed up. They also came out with a new gun for the last expansion as well. And this new gun is like pretty strong. Do I have a thing to summon a ship here? No. Okay. Yeah, No Man's Sky is fun in a small group. Although we've had some multiplayer problems when we were trying to play it, I ain't gonna lie. How many hours do I have in it? I've put in about 400 hours in the last couple of months. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go to my other base, the Gateway base. If anybody wants anything in No Man's Sky, like credits, or if you need credits or nanites or expander slots or anything like that, let me know. Unless it's salvage frigate modules, I can probably help you out. I started making racetracks on extreme planets. Exactly. But the thing is that when they made these corrupted planets have a higher chance of becoming, having extreme gravity storms. Also, you can breed animals now. I've been working on trying to make a giant robotic horse thing. So I've got two pets that I really, or three pets that I really like. One is my my T-Rex. The next is my big crab dude. Yeah. And then finally the one I'm actively working on, like, making a cool version of. This is just a baby. Here is and again, like, this is cool, but in VR it becomes incredibly obvious that that you come up to, like, the thing's knee, you know? Like, you can see it in this, but the thing that VR really gives you a really good appreciation for is the sense of scale of everything, right? Because, you know, you realize that that knowledge stone that you go and look at literally is as tall as you are, you know? Also, the latest, or the expansion before the last, did a lot of really good improvements to VR. So now you can, like, have your shield out and your gun out at the same time. And a lot of the interface is cool. How do I trigger some sentinels here? Oh. Tell you what. I shoot the sentinel. That's how. So there's now legit rep bots, normal bots like these. The first one I just killed is a rep bot. They updated the Sentinels like maybe a year ago now, so it may not be new for everybody, but just in case. There we go. So you have these basic ones, but now you see that guy's repairing him. So I got to kill the repper. But look, the repper's even repping the repper. So that's I like to lure the reppers all in one place and then kill them all. And then I can kill this dude. But look, this triangle guy actually summons more dudes. So now you've got repper dudes that you got to kill. You've got the Logi guy, or you've got the summoners that you got to kill. And you've got the incoming damage that you got to kill, which is all pretty good. And then on top of that, you have the kind of the boss bots that show up based on which degree, what tier of response you're at. So right now I'm just getting the normal dudes with the summoners, but in the next tier I'm going to get the dog, and then in the next tier after that I'm going to get the dog and the small walker, and in the final tier you get the dog and the large walker. So here we are getting to the dog. The dog can cloak and shoots big, long lasers and jumps a lot. I think, yeah, the dog was in the old system too, but has gotten a lot stronger. I think that the dog is probably one of the strongest of all of them, especially when the dog comes with his own, like, Logi team too. So if you just start attacking the dog without killing the Logi first, they can just rep him through, and the dog can cloak. All right, yeah. Thanks, die. And as you can see, like, he does some pretty decent damage if you just let him, like, hammer on you. Considering I have kind of maxed out everything almost, and he still did, like, a realistic amount of damage to me. So now I get a small sentinel walker. There he is. And obviously, you're not going to start out with a gun as good as this one. I find the Sentinel Walkers pretty easy now, but again, I've got pretty big DPS. If you don't, then it can be a bit of a challenge. The Big Walker, honestly, is probably the easiest of all of them, just because if you know... if you know how to kill the Big Walker, you can basically keep them dismantled the entire time. I'll show you. There's the small walker. The first thing I want to do is I want to kill as many of these reppers as possible in the meantime. Because I cannot afford to have that happening when I'm fighting the big one. So that's why I'm burning down this guy first, is basically to get rid of all of the reppers before I go after the big walker. And just kind of avoiding the big walker. Alright, now it's time for the big walker. Ready? And take out the thighs. Take out the brain box. Come on. If you take out the legs of the big walker, it causes him to stagger. And then once you get the stagger, you can basically continually trigger the stagger until he's dead. Boom. Where are you? Where are you? Are you it? No! This actually is I hate it when this happens. But I think it's done. Yeah. So there we go. And now it's clear. So now that I've killed all of those sentinels and stuff like that, it clears out the sentinels for the whole system, and it gives me where the nearest sentinel nest is. That's why I'm able to find the sentinel nests all the time. The only other thing that I can suggest is that when you go to the big walker, you suck up the brain via just picking it up, and then you hit it with a laser. That's how you end up getting twice as much loot. I think you can get two brains that way. I think if you just shoot it first, you only get the one. Although, if you go to the corrupted planets and like loot all of the the Rex dudes that are there, you can get. I've gotten a stack of 10 walker brains as loot several times. So, you know, that's one way to do it. So yeah. Let's see. Anything else I wanted to show? With lower tier gear, the Sentinel, where it's even more fun. Yeah, I mean, I do like. It's fun to fight them with normal gear too. I do recommend. I used to use like a building or whatever, pop in and out of, and you know you have to loot the stuff to get your shields and stuff a lot more. But this is why it's called Gateway Station, by the way, because it's, you know, I built it on a portal. Speaking of my bases. Here's one of my attempts. I've been trying to like integrate some of the bigger. Why? How did you lose that? What? What? First of all, how do you lose 3 jackdaws? And they're like 400 million. The decoration on the portal, the portal on the portal, that was our I put that on. This was me working on different designs and stuff. Wait, to drifters? I told you guys that you're going to have to worry about the angels. I told you guys that the angels are going to be the threat. How do you lose that many billions, though? You had 400 million fits. Oh, that sucks, man. How is this my fault? I've got my cozy little hangout in here. So those of you who miss walking in stations, you can simulate walking in stations by playing No Man's Sky. Here we go. This is walking in stations, guys. Ready? Ooh. That blows. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I don't know if I should be... I don't know if I should be held responsible for that, per se, but, that blows. There was another place I was working on. Is it here? I think it might be here. They one-shot mount. Dude, I'm telling you, the angel room is nasty. Especially the angel room is one of the only nasty rooms in Darks, I think. The boundary one was my fault? Wait. This game's so pretty. I like my builds. I hope you guys appreciate checking them out at least a little bit. Thank you again. Thank you for indulging me, I suppose. You show us the portal code so we can maybe travel to the system and explore it yourself? Sure. Yeah. It's not in Euclid. Here I was just experimenting with different like presentations. Here, let me go. I do have some pretty good places in Euclid. For you trying to watch my stream. Oh. Well. That's fine. Oh, here. This one. I'll show you this one because this one is Euclid. And then I'll show you the other one, which is in Essence or whatever, which is the main solar system. Like, I've been trying to like expand out of Euclid a little bit. For those who don't know, there's multiple galaxies. Like, there's multiple iterations of the 10 quadrillion planets. So Euclid is the base one that everyone starts in, and then, spoiler alert, when you beat the game, you gain among other things the option to go to a different galaxy. So this is my Euclid base. I think there's a portal here. This is another like lushy planet that has corruption and the storms. Vermilion control station. Screw it. I'll show you how easy it is to find the portal. I do a scan for alien structures. Find the monolith. Oh, boo, this one says I'm going to get there in 8 minutes, so I might just grab a ship. Yeah, corruption does like make the planet pink or purplish. That's just like one of the effects of corrupted planet, so... I can't believe you guys died twice, though. That's crazy. Oh. I'll do that afterwards. So I can go here, talk to the monolith. First spawn friend received belongs to the blank murder, blank trader, or murder rich miner. I'm gonna show mercy. Is that correct? Was that correct? Yay, it was correct. So now I can locate a portal by using a relic. Boom. It lets me know where... Oh, I got standings decreased with the Gek and I still was able to activate it? That's really weird. Normally it tells you that that doesn't work. But oh well. So now I've got the portal. Which is on the same planet. Is the effect less visible on lower settings because I don't remember it looking this pink? Are you talking about, like, what do you mean by you don't remember? Because this is brand new. This is new in the last 2 months. That sucks. Yeah, like I said, it's the same thing that's making those crystals grow. Is making the system pink, or the planet pink. Yeah, this is from Interceptor. Well, purple, pink, whatever. The effects waxes and wanes also, depending on what, like, when there's an anomalous effect or when you're in ship, I've noticed it's worse. And then when you're just out and about and there's no storm going on, then it can basically fade away completely. Oh, and I have to power it up? Stop it. Hold on. Let me do this with the control with the mouse. Pick it up. Did I miss one? I'm wrong? Oh, 10%. Haha! Yeah, it's been on sale a lot recently though. So unless it's on like it may be still on sale, but if not, then like I've seen it on sale for 50% off quite a bit recently. There you go. That's the planet's address. So it's moon, bird, ship, triangle, tree, galaxy, triangle, plane, teepee, hot air balloon, triangle. And again, this is Euclid. So good to go. Is that good? We good? Did you write it down? You want me to pull it up again? But as you can see, like right now, you can't even see the pink effect at all. Right? So the other thing about Sentinels that I wanted to show you guys is I can shoot this Sentinel here, trigger a response, right? But then I can hop in my ship and fly out into space, and then I fight in space instead, right? This is it's been this way forever. You got the screenshot? Excellent. So I'm going to take off and go to space, or I'll fight them there. And my ship is extremely overpowered. Although I'm actually not doing that much damage with this one. Is this the right ship? This is not the right ship. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! I thought I was a little bit sluggish. I have two almost identical looking ships. One of them's buffed up and one of them's not. And apparently I grabbed the one that wasn't buffed up and just didn't notice. So now I get to fight this guy with a weak ship. Because I don't think you can land while somebody's like right on you. Could have checked, should have checked, didn't check. All right, now land. Land. Ah! There we go. now is when the fun begins. All right. Cannot summon in combat. God damn it. Go away. Shoo. All right, let's try this again. Okay, much stronger ship. Come at me, bro. Oh, now I get the gravitational anomaly. Whatever, man. One thing at a time, I guess. What I might do, if I can, some weekend... I might not turn the camera on, but maybe I should do my weekend missions on No Man's Sky while streaming. Would that be okay? Like, would people even dig that? Like, me going live just to do that? Because that's the thing about that, is that I never know... Maybe I should just record it and put out a video of it? I don't know. It's always hard for me to figure out, like, in the moment, when would be a good time to go live. Oh, what am I even doing? I just need to fight this dude. Let's kill him. Yeah, that kills him a lot faster. No, I don't think so. I guess not. It's more like if people get ticked off and like unsub or something like that. You know, whether or not I should like. I don't want to like go through all of the trouble of going through a whole new YouTube channel for like other content until I'm really ready to do that. But like Eve has been so demanding of my content creation time that it's like. But I was just thinking, like, my weekend stuff might be a good extra time to do stuff. I just always feel like I'm not doing enough. I don't know. Especially recently, because it has been harder for me to get stuff, like, get to stream when I want to and stuff. Get out of my way, my own ship. My buddy's, like, more of a pain in the butt than the bad guys are. Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure well, people can appreciate that I like things other than Eve, but that doesn't mean that they want to see it on their feed, and if they don't see it, then they'll... If they see something that they don't want, people unsub. That's just the reality of it, man. This is No Man's Sky. This is the game that I said the other day that, like, why does Star Citizen need to exist in a universe in which this game already exists? Like, yes... Star Citizen could finally finish its development and do what it was supposed to be doing, but why would you even give a shit when No Man's Sky already exists? No Man's Sky does not replace Eve, but No Man's Sky definitely replaces Star Citizens in my world. Between this and Malak, so like, I was having a difficulty. I was like, oh man, I'm super addicted to No Man's Sky right now. I can't peel myself away from that game because it's so addicting, and I can't figure out how to like find time for Eve. And so Malak, my good friend, was like, here's something helpful. Here's an even more addictive game, and he got Age of Wonders. So we were playing that, and I've been playing a lot of that too. So this is the Sentinel boss. You defang it. And then, so now it's basically doesn't have its broadside. It's worth checking to see whether or not it's got any loot, like it does. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. If I go over to the other side, I'm going to have to deal with the other side's guns. And I can kill the other, like the frigates and stuff, but really, once I kill the Sentinel capital ship, the forces are pushed away. So my job now is to just basically grind down the Sentinel capital ship. Which I have another ship with a max-powered Infinite-Knife, and holy crap, does that cut through these Sentinel ships real fast. But in the meantime, we'll just, you know, spend some time shooting it. Valheim is good too, I've heard. I haven't actually played it. Don't buy me Valheim, please. I've got enough right now. Yeah, X4 is pretty good. Elite Dangerous has been out for a while. It's got some pros and cons. Age of Wonders is 4 is incredibly good if you like that kind of game. I honestly think that Age of Wonders is probably the best of that style of game, of like that. Age of Wonders is a better civilization than Civilization. I'll put it that way. Especially if you are happy with the fantasy themes. And Really? All right, one more pass. Boom. And then when you kill one, you get one of these, which is a Dreadnought AI fragment. Cool thing about Dreadnought AI fragments is that they combine with the interceptors and the corrupted planets. So now that I have one of these Dreadnought AI planet fragments, I can go like this, and I can activate it and find interceptor ships. Interceptor ships are incredibly powerful, but they're also pretty easy to get once you understand it. So now that I have that that Dreadnought AI fragment, it just sends me directly to where there is a... I actually like Age of Wonders way more than Stellaris. Like, I feel like Stellaris has a lot of things that, like, hold it back, like just execution-wise, that Age of Wonders just ends up being a better tactical strategy game. I'm willing to be proved wrong with Star Citizen. I just feel like No Man's Sky scratches any kind of itch that I might look to there for. So yeah, here's an interceptor. It is, depending on which one you find, it can be different classes on the same planet. But you don't like Paradox games? You have to spend like 2K for the full experience. I mean, I think that DLCs are a good way to like make allow for continual development. You know, like on the one hand, sure, you have to buy all those expansions, but those expansions represent that development effort. And you don't even need to buy them all, right? If you don't care. Like, there's some Stellaris expansions I already don't have. But the thing is that, like, Stellaris just there's so many pieces of it that I just feel could be better or aren't really, like... I feel like Age of Wonders executes it better, that's all. So, look, I can actually just get this ship for free right now. Like, it just... I grab it now. I'm not going to because I'm full on ships. But... that's the cool thing about, like, there's a little mission that you normally have to do where you have to get the pieces and whatnot in order to get the Sentinel ship. But, you know, you kill a Sentinel freighter, you get a Sentinel ship by the drone AI fragment. And it'll even send you to another solar system if you don't have it. Now, the other cool thing, though, is that beyond all that, you say, okay, well, Ash, drone AI fragment, like, killing Sentinel ships, you just said it's easy to get a Sentinel ship. But killing the big boss of the Sentinels isn't always the easiest way of getting a Sentinel ship. Suggesting that you just get it for nothing after that is kind of blarg, Ash. Why would you even say that? And the answer is that I can't find one here. Shit. Hold on. We're going to drive around. So there's, on these corrupted planets, there's the purple crystals and stuff. But as we saw earlier, there's the inverter mirrors that I was looking up and killing. I can't... we're going to try to find one real quick. Yeah, it's like taking out the game. Yeah, it's easy, guys. All you have to do is kill all of the bad guys, and then you get it for free. It's no problem. Whatever. Okay, so... this guy here, this is an inverted mirror, right? Or it's a... what do they actually call it? I think it's just dissonance resonator, okay? So when you kill this thing, they're always surrounded by a bunch of corrupted sentinels, and when you kill them, it usually aggroes them. Although it's not, yeah, they didn't this time. Oh, they're at least investigating. Usually it'll just auto-aggro them. Sometimes it doesn't. And you saw that I got the inverted mirror. Well, there's a chance when you kill those guys that you actually get this dissonance resonator or echolocator. So all you have to do is farm those dissonance resonators and then get one of these echolocators, and then you use that and it sends you to a dissonance camp, or a harmonic echo as they call it. So that's cool. How far away is that one? So even if I triggered those sentinels, I could have like just hidden for a few seconds and gotten away. Oh my god, I'm not driving for 10 minutes. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Now if I go to the camp... Nope, that's the salvage site. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. What the heck do we have here? I missed that earlier. Also, here's something that I didn't know for the longest time. I didn't realize this, but these little bobbleheads improve your ship, and they synergize with your trail, your ship trail. I didn't know that until just recently, so that's why those are so expensive in this Quicksilver vendor. So this is a harmonic camp, whatever you want to call it. The cool thing is it has a bunch of loot that can be random stuff, like it can be all kinds of cool stuff. It can be storage units. It can be any of the kind of normal sentinel stuff. And then over here, there's one of these autophages, which always has some sort of random loot of either sentinel stuff or scrap. And then there's this computer. And when you go to the computer, you just ask it for its memory registers, and then you do a little bit of basic math. 14 minus 5 is 9, 4 plus 5 is 9, 7 minus 1 is 6. So then you go to the registers. Is this game free to play, or is it not for me? No, you just buy it, and then you have it. This is a full-fledged, like, actual title. It's not an MMO or like a subscription or any of that kind of stuff. It's you buy it and then you have it. I said, wait, hold on. What did I say? Was 3 the third one? Oh no. I think it's 3. That must not have been it. Oh no! It was 6. Well, there you go. I don't know. Where did I get 3 in my head? I'm gonna blame you guys. It's okay. 9, 9. Oh no, have I just messed it up now? Can I not do it now? Hold on. Have I completely messed it up? I've literally never messed that up before. Of course, the first time I try to do it live is when I mess it up. That's hilarious. I did! Oh wait, no, remove. Okay. No, I did it again! This is how hard it is to fuck it up. You can't even try. Alright, so now I can deactivate the multi-tool seal. And I can also do a dissonant spike. So now I've gotten one of the inverted... I killed the dissonant resonators, got the harmonic resonator, went to the camp, did some basic math, and now it sends me directly to a sentinel ship, the same as if I killed a sentinel freighter. So you don't actually need to kill a sentinel freighter, you can just use that. And then you also can get a free multi-tool, which is random. Like, this one's actually pretty decent too. Holy crap, this is a good one. Wow, this is actually a really good one. Well, not really, really good, but like, it's got the 2 right there that are both supercharged. That's pretty nice. And then that one's supercharged, and we won't be able to know what the 4th supercharged slot is before we upgrade it to S. But that is a good, that's a decent gun. And earlier in the stream, we did the code, so you can find that code for the planet. So now that I've cleared out the camp, we can go back to my ship. That's true. Exactly. It's all the Triglavian's fault. That's a dissonance spike. That's the Sentinel salvage site. Okay, yeah. So this is a different one. This is the new one. So the last one was that orange one, and it was a C class. So let's see if this one is any different. Because I think, my guess, if I understand what's going to happen, because this is on the same planet, the ship should basically look the exact same. But what class it is could potentially be different. Like it could be a B or an A or a C or whatever. S class and you'll be golden. Yeah. Well, S class I can just show everybody the coordinates and then you can come and get it. Yep, it does look the same. And that's the thing, if you find a planet with a Sentinel ship that you like, you can actually just keep on looking for other versions of that Sentinel ship on the same planet. Yep, this one's B. So here's a B class one on the same planet. And this is what normally happens. So normally you get these 3 items, and then you have to go here, and you actually end up needing the pilot interface, which is the Radiant Shard, the Inverted Mirror, and the Harmonic Brain. You don't have a Harmonic Brain, but you need to have both the Radiant Shards and the Inverted Mirror first. So, but once you have those 2, then you can use your own, the Corrupted Brain that you have, activate it, and it'll send you to a nearby ancient site. You go to the ancient site, and it'll purge the memory and allow you to take over the thing. It doesn't take anything more. So the only real thing that you need is that Inverted Mirror and a few of the large crystals, and then you're good to go. That ancient site is 8 minutes away. We'll just go in the plane or in the ship. Don't blame us for your mistakes. Then what good are you? Isn't that, I thought that was the whole point here. I thought that wasn't that what this relationship is all about? I make a fool of myself and blame you. Isn't that that's the symbiosis that we have here? See, it doesn't cost me anything to do it. I just basically give him the brain. They give me back the other brain. And we drive back the fun way. Whee! The thing is that I really love this, especially for the planets that are like super mountainous. The hovercraft is so good. We blame you, not the other way around. Oh, I don't think that that's. I'm sorry, you're mistaken, but. You simply allowed to say sorry. What? No, this is not the Beaver Show. This is not the Beaver Show. Imagine this but an Eve. I know, dude. Look. Secretly, No Man's Sky is just me coping, alright? Is that what you wanted to hear? I don't really care about this ship, so I'm going to bring it down. It's only worth 32,000. This one's worth 65,000. This is also a really good way to make money in No Man's Sky now, is just go around and farm these Sentinel ships. Because they are so valuable and they're so easy to get. And now I have it. It's mine now. This is mine now. Yeah. I'm waiting for the shooter. Remember earlier we got all hyped up on the fact that they used the background music from a trailer that references Dust, okay? I mean, like, we are pretty darn down the copium rabbit hole here. Leave me alone. Let me have my moment. All right. Well, yeah. There's that. Make sure I get the right one. And the coordinates here is positive 2442 and positive 172. If you're really that interested. But yeah, that's kind of how to get the most out of Interceptor, I suppose. I can only go down so far down the rabbit hole until I meet the Mad Hatter who's running the show. I mean, we're all a little mad here, right? What time is it? Well, definitely time for me to be thinking about wrapping things up soon. So far CCP has been silent on the upcoming shooter, and for a good reason. Yeah, but they keep teasing things that, I don't know. Tinfoil is hard to avoid. I sincerely, look, my pet theory is that the reason why the FanFest is in the winter this year is because that's their target date for, like, or that's their target time frame for really showing, you know, revealing the shooter in all of its glory, whatever the hell that means. Yeah, winter. FanFest is in the winter this year. Or, well, it's in the fall. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, CCP has been putting a lot of effort into stuff. I don't know. I think that Vermilion, I'm very super pumped for Vermilion. I ain't gonna lie. Viridian. Vermilion? Viridian. Viridian? Viridian. Vermilion is okay. Vermilion is Final Fantasy. Viridian is EVE Online. That's how I'm going to remember it from now on. Here's my portal center and my anomalous planet with all of my anomalous stuff to show off. Dude, this happens every time I go to a CCP sponsored event. Confirmed to go last time. I'm due to be there in September 20th in Reykjavik. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. If etching is your fetish, it's a good time. Look, I'm not saying I enjoy it, but whatever. If anything, I wish that CCP would be a little bit more open about it. But at the same time, every time they're open about it, they shoot themselves in their foot. So I get it. I totally get it. I'm gonna try to get the. I want to get a low gravity storm, so that way I can show it off. That'll be my finishing for the night. It's just they really have set up everything to be like the fact that they delayed everything into the winter is very telling to me. Like even the CSM being delayed, Like, I don't know, man. It just... I feel like all of this signals the fact that early fall or even over the summer is when they're going to be ready to reveal like a bunch, because we know that they have so much stuff to reveal. Like even Viridian shows a lot of the stuff. Like we can see, this is one of the things I was talking about, is that like Viridian really showcases how these little things that we've seen over time, like the Rifter rebalance, like the use of clouds and some of these other places, are kind of the precursors for what it is to come, you know? So, and in fact, if we go back and listen to their statements about things like when they're talking about customizing your structures, you know, beyond just holograms, one of the things they talked about was clouds and environments around your ship, around your stations. And at the time, everybody was like, what? Okay, that's sure, that could be cool, like environments around your station. But now that we see that a big feature is going to be the volumetric clouds, it makes sense, right? It makes sense. That's, oh, okay, that's what it was all about. And I think we're going to see a lot more of that as we get closer to Viridian and beyond. Because even in like some of the stuff from the last from Uprising really seems to be set up to Viridian. I really feel like there's a pretty good showcase that they are on track for something that they're working on and have been working on quite a bit. And that each piece is kind of just like a small piece of a whole. All right, now it's time for... This is how to fly in the hovercraft. Look at that airtime. This is the low gravity storm in action, by the way, guys. So, like, I'll just jump like this, and I'll just fly around until I get somewhere, and then I'll go check out what's around there. This is what's kept me so, like, hooked on these planets. Because there's just so many different things to explore, and it's so fun to travel around. You know, there's a reason why the vast majority of development of a Mario game is based on just basic movement. Like, they spend more time on Mario jumping around and getting that control precise and fun than any of the level design or anything like that. Because if the game is fun to move around in, then it's just fun to play. The one in Vegas was, it was Project Nova. I hear you're coming. This year is gonna be the year to be at FanFest, though, for sure. Vermilion doesn't mean purple. Vermilion is red. So yeah, this is what life is like on a low-gravity planet. You can even pop out and be like, wee. Breathe deep, Imperium. No! No! Not storm clearing. Let me have my fun. It also helps to have the backpack upgrade that makes it so that you gain a jetpack charge while falling. Because if you do that in a low gravity environment, you end up gaining more jetpack than you, as you fall, than you lose as you go up. So yeah, if I just go and kill this thing right here, it should trigger the... Really? You're just not going to do it now, huh? Fine. Here. Hi. You angry yet? You angry? You angry? Come on. Come on. Come on. That's weird. Why aren't these guys attacking me? Have I shut down the sentinels too many times now and it just doesn't know? They don't know what to do. And there's all kinds of cool caves to find on this planet too. I don't know. So I am actually hoping that like within the next month or so, we're supposed to be getting another expedition in No Man's Sky, but also like a new expansion too soon enough. And I'm really hoping that the next expansion is going to be related to underground or underwater. I think that underwater is going to be, that's my guess, just because of this focus on the Abyss stuff and the fact that the underwater and in cave stuff hasn't really been worked on in a while. And they've been working a lot on like updating older systems and make them cool, and then adding in more cool stuff like alongside them, like with the Interceptor update and with the last year they focused more on revitalizing older systems, and this year they've been working on like expanding outward from that. So it'd be a good time for them to work on underground stuff. So yeah, this is it. This is what's been keeping me from focusing on Eve in my video game time. I've had other things that have made me distracted, but like I said, I wanted to show you guys some of this stuff, just so you can see kind of the cool stuff, the bases I've been working on and whatnot, and hopefully get some of this out of my system, so that way we can play more Eve, because that's my goal. Because really, there's a lot of stuff to do. We still have the shipcaster stuff to build. There's, of course, faction warfare, which is a little bit scary now that the goons are involved. And, of course, Viridian to prepare for, guys. I think that Viridian's going to be a big deal. One of the things I was thinking about is that, like, I wonder if the faction... Sorry, the Tech 2 Dreads... If the Tech 2 Dreads end up being, like, the new meta for doing Dread content, if the Tech 2 Dreads surpass the Phoenix Navy issue on like the most effective Dread for things like crab beacons and such, that's going to be huge when it comes to the value of Caldari LP and people's interest in working for the Caldari militia. Because right now, like, the fact that Phoenix Navy issues are as good as they are, the fact that they are the best Dread in a lot of ways, is really, really, really propping up the Caldari's LP at the moment. And so if a better alternative comes out, I could see that changing things quite a bit. You know, like, one of the big reasons why the goons joined Caldari Militia right now was to get Phoenix Navy issues. So as soon as, like, as early as next week, when they give us more details about the Tech 2 Dreads, depending on what that ends up meaning, you know, if those Tech 2 Dreads are so specialized or so, you know, outside of focus that they don't surpass the Phoenix Navy issue as, like, the meta Dread, then maybe not. But the thing is that, like, there's a lot of glut in Caldari Navy LP right now. Yes, the goons have basically... They have a SIG, at the very least, that are doing Cal Mill. But we'll see more about that next week. Tomorrow, again, we're going to be doing some training about exploration, especially as a newer pilot, how to get into stuff as a new pilot without very much commitment, but still has really good success and learn some pretty cool skills. Next week, we have hopefully more information about Tech 2 Dreads coming out. We are still waiting on the next piece of news about the world news, including the results of the Intaki election and the protests that have been arising around there. And hopefully we'll be exploring that next week as well. So this week and this weekend is definitely our catch-up time. You know, there's been a lot of stuff going on. Eve has been spooky. Local has been spooky. But it looks like everything is kind of fixed now. And it's time for us to get ready for the next thing, because Eve is very much a game about preparation. So I hope to see you guys out there. If you're interested in coming and joining Convocation of Empyreans or Aeron Robotics and helping us maximize player engagement with EVE Online, we are recruiting. We have moon mining and high sec and low sec, faction warfare, ships on contract, hauling services, plenty of people to be mentors and help and stuff to do, and opportunities abound. So come check us out if you want. Exploration. No, I'm going to be doing yeet exploration. So using filaments to take a brand new pilot to go into nullsec and hack sites. The thing is that like the goons aren't really necessarily there to win faction warfare. If anything, they're there to fight test, which is also Calmel, which is pretty funny. But it does make it so that like our already big struggle to hold systems like Fleet and whatnot are, you know, it's like, well, we can't lose Fleet or Hades anyways. Ow! And I know the goons pretty well. Trying to go up directly against them is a good way to get them excited. But if you let them, then they'll just be a problem for test and end up hopefully kind of washing over and we can move on from there. I do think it's probably pretty telling that faction warfare is so popular that nullsec groups have actually been putting interest in it. And I know that CCP, you know, we'll have to find out what home fronts mean and what kind of other things are in store for faction warfare and in adjacent to it. Because remember, a lot of the stuff that is involving the empires isn't actually the quote-unquote faction warfare mechanics directly. But I expect to see some stuff for faction warfare and for things outside of faction warfare. Test still exists? Yeah, I mean, like, insofar as Test still exists, they are in Calmel. I'll put it that way. They're not even the strongest force in Calmel anymore, which is pretty telling. Wormhole police de-intensifies. Don't worry. I won't be doing a wormhole episode right now. It's fine. But with all that said, I have been Ashtarothi. I've been playing that other game since 2010, talking about since 2012, and I've been here to put Eve into context for you, my fellow Empyreans, and show off this No Man's Sky to my fellow travelers. Either way, I do appreciate you guys being here. Check out the YouTubes. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe before you leave. Expect to see more videos coming out on the YouTubes. One of the reasons why I want to make that video tomorrow is because I want to start, like I said, I really want to up my game even further. I've gotten a lot of really positive feedback for my edited videos, but I feel like I can do even better. So that's going to be the goal. It's going to be a really exciting time, and you're not going to want to miss it. So if you want to be there with me, like I said, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, join the Convocation of Empyreans Discord, and sign up for or flag yourself as getting with the role to get notifications about YouTube, because that's how to find out all of my stuff as soon as they come. Or if you want, you can, for just $1 a month, join the memberships and support the stream and get videos early, usually at least a day early. Plus, you get access to the supporter channel where I complain about how I've got nothing to talk about today and see whether or not I want to do something else. No, you know, I ask them about what to do and get some ideas, and we chat. And I've been looking to get more and more stuff for my sponsors and supporters, because I really do appreciate you. But I honestly, let's be real. Thanks to YouTube, I appreciate every single one of you that sits through the entirety of my videos, because every one of you that helps the algorithm realize that my stuff is cool helps us all. Hey, Bearman, thank you for that membership 07 to you. And you get all the emotes, that's right. Do you get the emotes for $1? I might have been stingy with that and said it had to be like $3 or whatever. But either way, and if you support enough, either on Patreon or on my membership, you can even get me to read out your name at the end of videos, at least occasionally, just like these people here: Abyssus, Aikawarazu Chan, Arkas Ilring, Arydanika the Queen, Belligerent Neckbeard, Dajat Lemmont, Black Rose Noble, Drake, Golden Age Story, J. Kuhn, Lumi, Malak Starfire, Midnight Space Monkey, Not Just Fun, Seeds of Plenty, Serenolin with No Eyes, Syliana Vel'ash, Tgen Tgen, Nephilim, Grendel, Yantey Lepouf, Zaul Nex, as well as my Immortal tier sponsors: 745 MPSI, Ebo Leet, who we saw here earlier, 07 to you, May, Merc Utan, Nihilum, LM1, Always a pleasure to have him here. And Rid, thank you guys so much. 07 to you. I have been Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space. New Eden space, too. I promise.
Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city